What is going on? Welcome to the first video of many. Hopefully, I'm going to be going over how to program for calisthenics strength training, and yeah. So this video is basically going to go over the basics and premises of setting up a program for training for specific calisthenics strength-based elements and everything else that is involved with that. My name is Matthias. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. So let's get started. So essentially, every time I train, I always train for static-based elements, both planche and front lever. Planche and front lever are like the first two static skills of which you get good at, and then you can venture off into the variations of them. So planche could be like full planche and then full planche push-up, planche press, planche push-up to press, archer planche push-up. Front lever could be touch front lever pull-up to touch, straight arm touch, etc. So essentially, what I do is I split up all my training between heavy and volume, and when we get into heavy volume, we'll go right over here. High intensity work is about doing fatiguing work within a specific amount of sets to elicit a strength adaptation within the body, i.e. lift heavy to get good at lifting heavy things. Right? So if we, stay pretty close with a higher intensity threshold for a good amount of sets, so this could be like attempts, right? It's just a good example, or a light banded stuff, then it keeps you in check with that higher amount of intensity to allow your body to adapt and get stronger. High volume is about doing non-fatiguing work for a lot of sets, so doing a lot of work for a lot of a lot of work within a good amount of time. This is to elicit a neurological adaptation, more like technique work. You do it a lot to ingrain the motion in your head. There's a thing called like neurological adaptation, which is very, very relevant in strength training. So, when you go into a planche, even if you have a bad form planche, but like you have the strength to hold it, that, the bad form could be corrected here with neurological adaptation. So to like depress your shoulders, protract, do the posterior pelvic tilt, to do all those, the right things. We're going to get into method progression as well. So method progression, this is going to all relate to how we progress. So basically you want to build strength for straight and bent arms. So some skills are more bent arm dominant, other skills are more straight arm dominant. So a press is going to be more of a straight arm dynamic, a push and pull, more of a bent arm, right? So push up or pull up, right? Not like the basic push up, the basic pull up. I'm talking about a planche push up or a front lever pull up, right? Which are way more advanced. You want to have your main exercises of the day followed by something to supplement that main exercise. So if the main focus of the day, come back over here, the main focus of the day is planche, and this is the main focus, is a heavier planche hold, then something to supplement it will be a planche press. This isn't really supplementing either of these. This is something in the middle that is its own, exercise, its own goal, its own thing to be hit on this day, right? Main exercises should be hit with intensity, while anything that supplements the main work can either be hit with a little bit of an easier or with more volume. So yeah, main exercises should be hit with intensity. So this is going to be a hold for about 5 seconds, and this is going to stay at 5 seconds for a good amount of time before I feel it's okay for me to like progress or make it harder. But this is something that I can easily do for a good amount of 5 reps, maybe even 3. Main exercises, let me just do this. Main exercises for holds should have a total hold time of 20 to 30 seconds. So 7 times 5 is about 35. So roughly it falls within this sort of camp. 8 times 3 is also good for like 24, I want to say that's what it is. I'm bad at math. On the other end, if you're using holds to supplement a main exercise, then the total time can be 50 to 60 seconds. 5 sets of 12 is a good example. Stuff like negatives benefit from adding sets as opposed to just adding reps. So start low with 3 sets of 1 and add a set when you feel comfortable. So like a handstand lowering down to a straddle or a regular planche, a inverted hang lowering down to a front lever. Accessories, stuff like basics or just the gym bro exercises. You want to pick stuff that's just going to build muscle in the relevant areas for your desired skill. So if it's planche, do some lateral raises, maybe, if that's like you want to build some calf delts, but also doing some bicep curls and tricep extensions might help a little bit. Using drop sets, rest pause, myo reps, ladders, also something I didn't add here, but ladders are cool. Double progression. I like basics, but gym bro stuff could also be cool too if that's what you want to do. So earlier I said this is going to stay here at 5 seconds for a while before it progresses, versus something like this or this might have a range, like an 8 to 12 second range, to give room and a buffer to allow me to adapt and incrementally increase seconds right before you get stronger, or like on the negatives you can add sets. So this is static over linear progression. Not all exercises are going to progress or will progress at the same time. So just exactly what I just said. The high intensity exercises stay the same for a good amount of time to allow your body to adapt and get accustomed to that level before making it more difficult. Supplement exercises always will be progressed by adding a rep or two before deciding it's time to make it more difficult. But also how you perform and execute those reps too. If you do those reps faster, if you do them better over time. And so kind of record your sessions to see if you're getting stronger or better. This is just a very quick overview of order of importance. So we generally do better when we track with less at first. You want to pick 2 to 3 exercises per goal. So, here we got 3 exercises for planche, and one of these will be pushed really hard, while the other 2 won't really be pushed quite as hard. So, maybe the main focus is holds first, then a secondary focus on push-ups, and then a third focus on presses. So it doesn't have to be that way. If you have a really good hold, and you have decent push-ups, maybe you want to get better at the press, so then this takes priority. It really just depends like where you're at and what you want to do, and yeah. Finally, going over my program. So this is my programming that's individual to me. I wouldn't copy me. I wouldn't do exactly what I'm doing, but take a lot of this, with a grain of salt, and take a lot of this, that you can implement in your own stuff. Day 1 and 2 is isometric focus, so planche holds and touch front lever holds. Day 3 and 4 is more bent arm dynamic focus, so planche push-ups and front lever pull-ups, right? So anything that's heavy, I do for a lot of sets. Anything that's volume, I still do for a lot of sets, but just not quite as much. So 7 as opposed to 5. And, volume will refer to like 5 sets of 5, versus like heavy could be like 5 sets of 1, right? Or something very similar to that, akin to that. So just a good example. And I always end with straight arm dynamics. I just found that as a personal favorite, I like ending with straight arm dynamics. But so like I said earlier, where is it? One of these will be pushed really hard while the other 2 not so much. So for me, my straight arm dynamics aren't really being pushed very heavily. They're just there at the end because I think they're still beneficial, and for me, they really help me get a feel for the technique of each skill, to have a good amount of form while performing the skill through a full range of motion with locked elbows or straight arms. So there you go, hence the name straight arm dynamic. So stuff like basics I will do every session, but I always end it with at the end of each session. And I don't do a lot of weighted stuff. I don't do a lot of like heavy stuff. It's just basically basics done at the end because I enjoy it. If you guys really enjoyed this video, this was a very, very quick video, very quick overview of my training. Nothing really too much to explain. This is really just something I wanted to put out to give information and a little bit of demystify a bit about training for calisthenics. If this video made sense, let me know in the comment section below. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you guys for watching.